Viajeros, welcome to Mochilazo. My name is Luis.
And I'm Gabby.
And we are in Bardstown, Kentucky. It's a little town in the Bluegrass Parkway. It's more or less an hour from Lexington, Kentucky, or an hour from Louisville.
And we are at Bardstown Bourbon Company. We're going to take a tour and try their bourbon.
This is part of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, and this is maybe one of the newest distilleries that was added to the trail. Those guys are big. I mean, they have just warehouses everywhere here in the location. They have a lot, and they are making a lot of for other brands. I mean, the brands come here and they just outsourcing kind of the production with them here.
If you like to come here, we recommend you make your reservations at least a month in advance for a tour because they are busy. They also have a restaurant, and maybe with that you can find less time to make reservations. But if you want a tour, we recommend at least a month.
Yeah, they are pretty busy here. Let's go to discover what they are doing.
So how's everybody doing today? Everybody good?
Yes.
Awesome. Actually, we're one of the newer distilleries on the Bourbon Trail. We didn't get founded until 2014, and we didn't start distilling our first products until September of 2016. So what we're going to try today is one of our blends. It's the Fusion series. You all came in a great time. We're expanding our footprint. We're calling it a high rye bourbon distillate. Technically speaking, for bourbon, you always have to have majority corn. So this is going to meet that if you look on that mash bill right there on that same chart. The mash bill says that the corn is 60%, so as long as you're 51% or above, it can be considered bourbon. It can be made anywhere in the United States. It's not just Kentucky, it's anywhere in the U.S. The other big thing that you always have to do is make sure that you're putting it into a new charred oak container. So this clear substance, it's technically not bourbon yet because we actually haven't put it in a new charred oak container. You might have heard of what we call it though. It's called moonshine, or white dog, or white lightning, all the same term. 20 proof, as you all can see on that chart there. We're also calling it a high rye bourbon distillate because that 36% rye, usually at about 20% or above, it would be considered a high rye bourbon. So at that 36%, this is really high. But what people like to say about rye is that rye is dry. You're going to get a flavor profile. It's going to give you like a pepper, citrus, anything earthy or herbal. Those are all byproducts of the rye itself. That's why people say that it's a forward flavoring range, because it really does kind of hit you up front. It's a distinct flavor. And if you all don't get this, don't worry, we all have different palates, so it's different for everyone. But I get corn and I get pepper. That corn, of course, you have your majority corn, and then that pepper is that rye. Okay, we just call this good old-fashioned Kentucky espresso around here. Cheers, my friends. Same proof, it's the exact same mash bill, it's that same high rye bourbon that we just tried. Difference is, this one's actually been in the barrel for 3 years. So we're calling this one a maturate. Maturate's just in reference to something that we don't think is quite done aging yet. So this has been aged for 3 years. This is actually a sneak peek of something that we have coming out at the beginning of next year. It'll be the first time that we've ever released a bottle that has just 100% of our own stuff in it. So we're always talking about how we have that Fusion series that's a blend of our younger stuff with those more mature source products. This high rye bourbon is going to come out by itself for the first time for us as a company that we released a bottle that has just one of our products in there. So it'll be called the Origin series. It's a flagship product. This is one of our blends. So instead of us coming out with a vodka or a gin right at the beginning of us distilling to get that immediate return, we actually started out by collaborating with other brands and distilling for them, and also acquiring some of their products along the way. So we actually do custom distilling for over 30 plus brands here at Bardstown Bourbon Company. Part of the way that we grew our brand is by producing for other customers. So some of the ones that we distill for that you might have heard of: Kentucky Owl, Bellmead, Jefferson's, Calumet Farms, even High West out of Utah are all distilleries that we custom distill for right here. So we have acquired some source products from other distilleries, And what we're doing is we're taking that revenue from those other companies, kind of reinvesting it back into our own business, letting our stuff continue to age, but then taking our younger stuff and blending them with those more mature source products. Fusion Series is a blend of 5 different bourbons. 3 of them are ours. It makes up 70% of the bottle. You can see that percentage there on the left-hand side of that chart. 2 of them are source products out of our state at 12 years old. That makes up the other 30%. We really believe in transparency as a company, which I think is a really great feature for our blends, because we actually put the blend information right on the label. You all can turn your bottles to the left and see the same exact information that's on your flight sheets. So we're going to tell you the age statement, where it came from, if we can say it. The exact mash bill of each one of those individual bourbons as well. It's always going to be on the label. It's a really easy sipper for me. I have it at home and I drink it neat. I don't think it needs a thing with it. So I hope you all enjoyed as much as I do. It's going to have some of those same flavor profiles as that high rye bourbon we tried. You all can look on those mash bills and see all that rye in those grain recipes. But where those more mature bourbons are blended in there together, you're getting more sweetness and more smoothness. Of course, this is a lower proof than the stuff we just tried out of the barrel. So cheers, my friends. I hope you all enjoy.
Cheers.
Okay, we're good. You all follow me. Those are our barrels right there in the middle. Those barrels say Western Spirits. That's your Calumet Farms and your Bird Dog right there. So we do that custom distilling for them. We let them age with us here at the Rickhouse. We also bottle products for them. So Calumet Farms and Bird Dog is one of the ones that we actually do all 3 for.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How often do you have to scrub the black mold off those windows?
You know what? The windows don't get it too bad.
Really?
It's the wood and then the
wood.
vinyl siding that get it. So you all can look at this one and see there's not much mold. We actually just pressure washed it.
I was like
if you look
surprised.
down there at that one, the back right corner of it, you can see that mold on there. This one was getting a little bit worse than that. What they're doing in there right now is they're having their cocktail class. So when we left at 2, there was also a shaken and stirred class at 2 o'clock. That's what that experience is. You get to go into Pete's place and make 2 cocktails. What we're doing for the summer is old fashions and mules. So I think they're probably on the old fashioned portion of their experience right now. But it's not just for cocktail classes. It's its own little private event space. We've had weddings, receptions, heck, there's even been a fantasy football draft in there. And then it's also just used for other tours. So when we have stock of it, we do a fill your own bottle tour. That happens from Pete's Place as well. So as far as I know, we have the only speakeasy attached to a Rickhouse in the country. He did pass away in 2019, so we called that Pete's Place to honor him by. He was a whiskey enthusiast. He did a lot of things through his career. His company actually became Earthlink in the early 90s, so he made quite a bit of money off of that. One of the things that he did was actually acquire the Versace mansion down in Miami. He wanted to make a custom product to kind of show off to his counterparts down there. So he came up to Kentucky to try to make his own custom whiskey. You could go to other distilleries and they put your label on it, whatever you wanted it to say, but it was their recipe, it was their method, it was how they wanted it done. You really didn't have a call at anything that happened. So when they told him no, we kind of got founded as a, well, I'll show you to all those other companies, and here we are today. They're only working with 1 or 2 different mash bills, different recipes. We're actually making over 50 different mash bills here. So there's no practical way to try to get one consistent flavor out of 50 different recipes. What we're going to do anyway is combine them all into a steel vat at the end, so we're encouraging the flavor differences between each individual barrel because we're going to use that flavor difference to make one flavor at the end. Sound good to you all? So that copper straw that I put in there, it's called a whiskey thief. If you've ever heard the term thieving from a barrel, it's because you're using that whiskey thief to do so. Ever taken your straw and put it in like a drive-through cup and then put your thumb over top of it? Same premise. Just cooler straw and better liquid, in my opinion.
Better looking guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Is this 120?
Yep, so this is gonna go in at 120 proof. It's gonna fluctuate during the aging process. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it'll decrease. So much, we think the alcohol evaporates out a little bit faster. So if I had to take a stab at what the proof was, I'd say it's between 115 to 118 proof. Yeah, so it's 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley. That's what's in this particular mash bill. That Fusion series that we tried upstairs in the classroom, it's made out of 5 different bourbons. This one in particular, it makes up 54% of what's in that blend, so it's the vast majority of what's inside of that Fusion 7 that we tried upstairs.
How old is this one in the barrel?
Great question. So you all can look on the front of this one and all the other ones and see where it says lot number. That's how we can tell when the barrel was filled. This one that we're drinking from, the lot number says 18G12A. A at the end is actually the least important part. It's actually in reference to the tank that it came out of inside. So that means there was at least 2 tanks full of this particular mash bill when we went to fill the barrel. That's the date. So July 12th, 2018 is when this barrel was filled. Just about a month ago, a little bit over it, it turned 4 years old.
4.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So, question for you about the beer.
Hey guys, maybe I drunk already. I just finished with the tour, and for sure you need to come and plan some time to spend here in the restaurant because that is awesome. If you want to try something from the bar, I mean they have all the labels that they are making. It's here in the bar. They are doing a great job over here, so for sure we will come back very soon. My name is Luis, this is Mochilazo. Please give us a like if you like this video and share it with somebody that like the bourbon.
Viajeros, como siempre, muchas gracias por ver este video. Si no se han suscrito, suscríbanse al canal, den un like si les ha gustado y compartan con los viajeros a quienes pueda servir esta información.